Hello and welcome once again to the Dwarven Tavern. I am your host Lyric, and we are going to be continuing the beginners videos today. In advance, I do apologize for the jingling in the background. There are two puppies playing in the other room, and I've tried really hard to tune them out. So please bear with me as we ignore them and explain what character sheets are. Now, most of you, if not all, know that character sheets are what's used to keep track of all your character's features. This is not just talking about like their name and where they come from and all that stuff. Actually, hardly any character sheets have a space where you can write down like a backstory. You have to do that on a separate piece of paper. No, a character sheet holds things like your stats and your name, and I'm looking at a character sheet right now, and say your saving throws, your skills, your weapons, your armor, your experience points. It has a very tiny space for that, and your gold and stuff like that. So why is a character sheet important? Well, all of what I have mentioned, and they also keep track of your characters when you've long forgotten about them. It is very important to have a folder like I do for all of your character sheets. This doesn't even have all of them in them. This is just the important character sheet folder. It's the characters that I have visited very frequently, and also the ones that have a long time running, or the ones that the campaigns have halted, but I really want them to continue. So this doesn't even have all of my character sheets in it. It's just the ones that are of worthy mention. So it's very important to have a character sheet folder, just so you have all of your character sheets in one place. So unless you're an avid gamer like myself and you cannot keep track of all of your characters because the time spans forward and you lose your characters sometimes. It happens. Don't worry about it. If anything, you can just re-roll them up with what you remember about them. So the important thing about a character sheet is that you have to have one. Well, you don't. I'll get to that later. But the important thing is that you need some sort of documentation for what your character is like, what they have, what they're doing, what god they follow, what they have on them, etc., etc. So the character sheet, I'm looking on this one, which is Ubel Orb. He is a caveman, or she. Is it a male or woman? Female. She, Ubel Orb. She is a cave woman. That is a video all on its own, so please comment below if you're interested in hearing about that. She is a D&D character, as you can see, using a 3.5 edition, and as you can see with it, I have extra sheets of paper. Now, what is this about? This is about sometimes the character sheet, even though it has all this information, it leaves something out. Like, for example, your original stats, if they need edited by your race, or names of your, like, say, locations, such as your hometown and whatnot. And names of your companions sometimes doesn't have that on here. But that's also why backs are blank, so that you can put them on the back. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at here is that your character sheet has a lot of necessity to it, but sometimes it forgets stuff. So it's always best to have an extra sheet of papier with you. I always use an extra piece of paper. So the character sheet, I explained the character sheet itself in another video called the How to Roll Up Your 3.5 edition Dungeons and Dragons character. The link is in some location, probably right here. So please look at that video also if you want to understand what the character sheet is all about. It explains this 4-page character sheet because another point I would like to cover, this is 4 pages, your characters, depending on what game you're playing, will fall under a different character sheet. There are several different types of character sheets for the Dungeons and Dragons playing system, such as this one, which is the 4-sheet character sheet. How many times am I going to say character sheet in this video? I don't know. I might have to put up a counter. Then there's a 2-paper one. Then there's, ooh, this one. This one's different. This one, I think, also, oh, this one just has 2 papers also. So, oh wait, no, these are the same. Ubel, Orb, and Seville are on the same type of character sheet. So, ooh, here's one. This is for the advanced D&D player's character sheet. It has things like a specific place for all of your wealth. Well, normally it just has a little box at the bottom saying gold, platinum, copper, etc. But this one, it has like combat instead of just having your weapons and stuff and your other abilities. This is a new one altogether. The languages are on the front page, which is nice. And, oh, would you look at that? It even includes a little sketch for your personal information. That's something that you like to have if you're an artist like me. But, again, it needed extra pieces of paper, so keep those in mind. Always have extra pieces of paper with your character. So, there are several different types of character sheets for even one type of game. So it just really depends on if you like which one you like the best. I prefer having the two sheet method, like Seville and Ubel Orb, but the ones that have, say, Iknurkniks, the ones that have the 4 sheets, they have, I think they go a lot more in depth with what your character has. And it also gives you more room to write certain things like your equipment and your skills. Like, look at the difference in these two pages. This is for the 4. It's like, see, this is all your skills. And then this is for the 2-page one. That little space is for your skills. So, like, there's a difference. And if you have a lot of information that you want to write down, perhaps use the 4-page one. But if you like confined information, the 2-sheet is obviously the one that you want to go for. So they do vary. Going way back to, say, I don't even know how old I was when I did this one. Ooh, this looks like about 10-year-old artwork, maybe younger. Yeah, this is a very, very old character sheet. I think this is actually one of my first characters. My name was Lyra Diamonddew. Fancy. Oh, it was when I was a wizard, so it's definitely 10 years or younger. When I was 10 years or younger, I revolved my whole gaming life around being either a wizard, a druid, or a sorcerer. I needed magic in my life, is what it was. And I was either a human, a half-elf, or a full elf. So, this is Lyra Diamonddew. Meet her. She's very nice. She is one of the oldest characters I have. Be nice to her. She looks very yellow, but that's what happens when you game for a very long time. So, this is one of the older types of character sheets, and like, yeah, see, look, it has all of the statistics right here, all of your abilities right here, when normally they go up and down comme ça. So, again, whatever character sheet you choose, it really just depends on which one you like the best. Now, there are sometimes, like in D&D, you have character sheets that are specifically for a certain class. Like, for example, if you have a campaign of a certain class, like our monk campaign, where all of our characters are monks, you have these. Like, this is obviously a monk character. This is Sister Aliciana Merorthel. I can never remember how to pronounce her name. She is the little wood elf that I talked about in the disabilities video right here, where she has severe OCD. And playing her was so interesting because it really expanded my ideas and my viewpoint of what a person with OCD goes through, and it made me I felt humbled by playing this character. So, back to character sheets, this is specifically for her class as a monk. So, you will find these. You have to look for them specifically online, but they have things like, specifically for your characters, like, let me see. Well, I guess not. I guess this is just another fancy character sheet under a different name. But that's not important. What's important is that it says monk at the top, so that you know this is your monk character. So there are specifically ones for them. I think that if they created a character sheet that, like, if you were a ranger and you had a favorite enemy, if you had a ranger character sheet, it would have a specific, like a black line thing saying, this is your favorite enemy. Like, how cool would that be? Or like for the monk, if they had like flurry of blows written in for you, and then you could just keep track of it come stop. So, oh, I also tend to speak, like I insert foreign words into my normal spec every now and then. I do apologize for that. When I say come sa, as I did notice that I said that in a previous video, comme ça means like this in French. So, just so you know, when I'm saying comme ça, I mean like this. So, there's that. And then, of course, you have character sheets for different types of games. Like this one that I have right here is a werewolf, the Forsaken. I forgot the subtitle. For my character Odin Varger, classy, right? He is my werewolf, and he is from the werewolf campaign of the World of Darkness playing series. So they do have character sheets specifically for those individual, obviously they have those for the individual types of games. So again, what you need to look for is just which one suits you the best. But sometimes they do not cross over, like D&D and World of Darkness. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't work out because the World of Darkness system uses, as previously mentioned in my dice video, they use D10s only. So a lot of this stuff is decided by rolling a D10, while this stuff is decided by rolling a D20 or a D4 or a D6. So it really, really depends on what game you're playing and what your preferences are to the character sheet. So, lastly, what I want to mention is, well, I have two things left to mention. I mentioned earlier that you have to have a character sheet to play. That is not necessarily true. For if you have a book that has all the information in it that you need to roll up a character, all you really need is a blank piece of paper. And what I mean by that is that you can create your own character sheet. And in order to do that, all you need is a pen and a pencil. So this is Chic Duct. She is my Amazonian barbarian, and she is completely on paper. I wrote out her entire character sheet all on my own, just using the information provided in the player's handbook. Now, you don't have to be a super skilled player to do this. I was able to do this pretty much from memory, just from staring at this for so long. But if you're able to, like, if you have all the information with you, this is all you need to provide. And just keep it organized and make it easy, and use pen for the permanent stuff and pencil for the non-permanent stuff. And something else I wanted to mention, and that is when you have a character sheet, even like this, it's very important to have the permanent information in pen so you don't erase it, and the non-permanent information in pencil so that you can when it changes. There was a time back, let's visit Lyra Diamonddew once again. Lyra Diamonddew was a printed out character. Obviously, I was too young to focus long enough to roll up a character. As you know, the character process, rolling up process, can take a little bit, and I would not sit still long enough to actually do it. Like the first time I successfully rolled up a character by myself, it took me 6 hours. I was like 12 though, so I was not a very bright kid. I'm bright now, but I wasn't then. So, like all of her information, all of it was printed out, right? So when it came to needing to be changed, for example, when my skills changed, I had to cross out the inked spot and write next to it, which after a while, if I had continued playing this character, would have become a bit of a hassle trying to keep up with it. So it is very, 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 very important that you write all of the information in pencil, because if this changes at all, you're going to have a bad time. So like, you might not need to change, like, say, your name because it's your character. Then again, that also might change depending on if you decide to give that character to someone else who plays him very much. Like, for example, I had a PC turned NPC named Verbale Celsha. And he was a prisoner at war, he lost his eye, and like, I rolled him up specifically for our disabilities campaign. I previously mentioned him again in another video. And he lost his eye, and he was a captain in a war. He was kidnapped, and he helped his my other companions escape. So he became an NPC in another campaign because I had his character sheet, and I wanted to use him because he was a really cool character. And then somehow my dad ended up playing him. Tavernier Jeff, he actually began to play him, and slowly over time became my father's character. So even though, like, he was my character to begin with, he slowly became my dad's character. So even the name of who owns this character can change. So write it all in pencil. You have to write it all in pencil, just to make sure that nothing is set in stone, because the world of gaming is in a constant motion, and it is very important to keep up with it. So that is that. If you have any questions, please comment below. I'm pretty sure I skipped over a few important things, but that's me. I do that sometimes. If you like this video, please like it. If you want to, share it, please do so. If you don't want to share it, do it anyway, because we do like the word getting out that we are trying to help the gaming community expand and educate. Or be educated. Maybe I need to do a little education on my own time, right? So, please comment, like, subscribe, share, etc., etc., etc. And if there's anything that you guys want specifically covered, or I left anything out, or if you guys are excited about one aspect of the Dwarven Tavern and you want to know more about that, for example, our race or class videos that we will be getting on shortly, please comment below and we'll do exactly that. So, thank you guys for always watching. We wish at the Dwarven Tavern for you to want for nothing but adventure. And at first I feared it, then I charged. And thank you guys for always tuning in and keeping up with the wild adventures of both our players and our characters. Because where would our lives be without the creativity of our character sheets? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.